Spacey Sims, and we are back with more variable barricade in a couple days, cause like the weekend. Also, I didn't record anything yesterday, so anyway. Plus, dear God, I come back and I'm like, I've got so behind. I'm not really behind. It's just I literally spent 2 days. Took my Switch downstairs. I took the dock, plugged it in downstairs, slapped that shit up to my TV downstairs, and just laid on my couch and played Dreamlight Valley for 2 fucking days. Listen, that game's a time suck. It's never gonna stop. You're like, I could just, like, 6 hours later, 6 hours later, right. Like, for fuck's sake, when your Switch isn't docked, like, I have to pee. I'm just gonna take it with me while I go pee. The crashes are not, that's the part that's like, anyway. So we're back, right? We were going to talk to Ichi in the kitchen, and right, his brother's. I don't know if they ever said if his brother was going to come live in the house, but we're having a meeting with him and whatnot. And poor Ichi is out being melodramatic, salting everything with his tears in the kitchen. So that's why we love him. Anyway, Ichi, look, I love sad Ichi. Something is wrong with me. Also, exciting news. By the time this goes up, whatever, it's been weeks. But, like, my Amnesia Memories Later Crowd collector edition came today. Woohoo! And tomorrow, Pio Fiore 1926 should be delivered. I'm pretty excited. Although, holy shit, I still haven't figured out if we're playing Amnesia Memories all over again, or if I'm gonna do it. But that's going to be hard because in my off time, I've been playing Dreamlight Valley. I still haven't finished 13 Sentinel, so I don't know if I can manage to get through Amnesia Memories all over again on my own. Because, like, you know? So I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen there. Because I want to play later in Crowd. I do, but it's kind of one of those, like, do we just put that one off for a little while to give me longer to replay Amnesia? Because at the moment, that's not going to happen anytime soon. Plus, October is going to be difficult for me to record for like a week or two. So, yeah, I have to bust my ass to get things done. And what else is coming out? Oh, Love or Pretend, I think, is coming out in December. So, one of these games goes to December. Maybe we do that, Pio Fiore 1926, and we save Amnesia till like next year. Just to give me time to replay Amnesia, because I want to do that. So, anyway, just throwing that out there because I was thinking of it. Got a lot of shit going on in my brain today. Feel like way more energized right now in this second than I've felt in weeks. I don't know. Anyway, I was sure he knew exactly what I wanted to talk to him about. It wasn't much of a mystery. It seemed like he'd given up on the idea of running away, too. He simply turned to me, resignation clear on his face. What happened between you and Kazu after I left that night? Can I ask you that much? Nothing much. He just went over things that you already know. He told me that he intends to be your fiancé someday, and that's all. Basically, it was a declaration of war aimed straight at me. That was pretty much what I'd expected, yes. But I was less concerned about the literal topics they discuss, and more concerned about... What did you say to him? I tried to protest, of course. But I was never strong enough to stop him, especially when he's dead set on something. And to him, marrying you is the best business deal he could ever make. It's not a bad deal for the Tojo family either, right? Well, no. It seems off. He seems totally emotionless and detached. He's talking about this like it's someone else's problem. I looked at him curiously. He looked back at me, but his eyes were empty. He's basically resigned to losing. Ichia! You know what? It's okay. You know what? Shh. We're just going to back out of the room and we're going to let the boys handle it, because that's what they do best. Is like once you've basically put your stake in a man, this one, and then you walk away. It's basically, he's like picking out a Christmas fucking tree, you know? You're on a tree farm lot, and let's say the trees are growing there, okay? Not like they're just propped up regardless, okay? Whatever. You're over there and you're like, that one. And you put your little tag on your fucking tree, and then all of a sudden the other boys come in, shoo, 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 and just fucking, like, take that shit down, trim the bottom, get it nice and flat, fluff it, put it in a fucking little net, so you could throw it in your fucking car or on your car or what the fuck ever and get it back to your house. So they are gonna come in and fluff this fucking tree for us. That sounds wildly inappropriate, actually, but you know what I'm saying. Also, what the fuck? Why did my Yusuke sticker fall off my fucking wall and was falling behind a folder? Anyway, so, yeah, listen. I'm gonna leave. Just put my little tag on you, and they're gonna prep you. It'll be fine. Like a cattle of the slaughterhouse. This cow. And they're gonna take him and prep him for me and bring me a nice juicy steak. Whatever analogy you want to use. The tree one's better, because at least, we get to decorate him and make him look pretty before he slowly dies. Which we're all doing. But you know what I mean? Like, you're gonna slaughter a cow. Whatever. You know what I mean? You pick your best analogy. You get it. You're like, yeah, okay. But those boys are gonna come in, Just saying. So. He told me about you, too. So you met with him a handful of times already. Yes, when I was unaware of who he was, I talked to him about you and the others. I asked for his advice on several matters. Romantic advice, huh? I figure if there's one thing I'd be better at than him, it'd be dispensing that sort of thing. Oh well. It was less an indictment of my carelessness and more a jab at himself. Say, Spacey, can I ask you something? When you met with Kazuya, talked to him, what did you think of him? Well, I was sure he didn't mean my impression of him from just the other night. He wanted to know what I thought of Kazu, the man I went to for advice. I feel like this would be the perfect time to make that distinction. Okay, well first, Kazu, when I met him, before I knew who he was, before last night, this is what I thought of him. After last night, that has changed, because he seems like a shady son of a bitch. And I'm not sure I trust him anymore. You know what I mean? Oh, I thought he was awesome. Yeah. I think a lot of people are awesome when you first meet them, and then they show you their true colors, and you're like, oh no, they're evil. Fuck that shit. I'm sure a lot of people would, if you get on your Ouija board and ask them, like, what did you think of that guy that stabbed you and murdered you? They'd be like, he seemed like a really nice guy. I was hitchhiking, he was going to give me a ride, and then he killed me. So, like, first impression, he seemed real nice. Until he whipped out the knife and stabbed me. I'm just saying, not every single person who's going to stab you kind of seems shady, skulking in a dark alley. Some of them seem nice, and then you get stabbed. Gotta make that distinction, all I'm saying. She's not gonna, though. She's gonna be like, he was awesome. I probably should have followed up and not, and then just so we can have, like, drama, but... After giving it some thought, I said, oh, neither one of these are good. I'm sorry, Ichiya. He seemed observant. He seemed mature. Neither one are great, because, like, they're both gonna give... He's gonna be like, are you saying I'm not observant? Are you saying I'm immature? Yes, actually. I mean, I feel like mature is probably the right answer here, just because he seemed observant. But he's not observing the guys. He's really only observing what you're telling him, and how is that observing? If I'm sitting there being like, oh my god, Ichi is so fucking cheesy, he's not going to be like, actually, I wonder if... I mean, he would, because he knows Ichi, but you know what I mean? You're not going to present him and be like, oh, XYZ, and then he's going to try to, like... He's going to be like, actually, from what I've observed, you don't see them. You only have my side. So, like, how could you be observant? I mean, observant about us, maybe. But that also seems a little selfish. Well, he told me that I was pretty and lovely, and like, I think he's very observant. You know what I mean? I don't know. I mean, I guess I could understand that one, but I just... Mature. He seemed very mature, because, yeah, unlike the chocolate fucks in this house, who are like, just goddamn fucking idiots. We love them, though. I love this goddamn himbo house. Okay. Taiga's smart. But he also has, like, the himbo attitude, where you're like, you should be dumber than you are. Naoto's 150% himbo. He's more himbo than every himbo. He makes most himbos look intelligent, so... And Shion is not stupid. And, for someone who's just like, you're like, you're beautiful, but dumb. he's actually kind of intelligent. But still, when you put them all together, they're all kind of dumb together. Like, they're like just 4 brain cells. Nayuta's the malfunctioning one, but whatever, it's fine, we love him. Yeah, okay, you seem mature. He seemed mature. Things that someone like me, an inexperienced minor, might brush off as insignificant or uninteresting don't escape his notice. And he's wise enough to teach me not to dismiss those things either. I'm not surprised. He's more than just book smart. He knows how to read people. He's good at getting them to do what he wants. See, that's very important for him to have said. He's good at getting them to do what he wants. That's fucking manipulation, Ichiya! And it's not really always a good thing. It's great if you possess that power to be able to get people to do what you want, and then they're like, I did this of my own free will, and you're like, sure you did. Not really. And that's exactly the way he is. If you have that power, it's fucking amazing. Yes, great, awesome. Not when it's being used on you, though, and later you're like, wait a minute. You know what I mean? Because it's fucking shady. Like, I mean, it's shady when you have that power, but, like, who's gonna complain? You know what I mean? It's like he was just, I don't know, born to be a leader of men. Like me. Hard to believe we're identical twins, right? Even I can't believe it sometimes. Well, someone had to get the smarts. Oh, Ichi, I love you. But you're kind of bordering on himbo. You kind of are in that territory. You're kind of sometimes a little too dumb. Sometimes. Not as dumb as Nayuta, but like, you know, he's just like borderline. He's just in that where every once in a while you're like, oh no, that was actually intelligent. Okay, he's not that stupid. And then he says shit, you're like, are you that stupid? I'm not really sure what's happening here. Are you good at pretending you're intelligent? Or do you just like, you know, so much cheese in your brain that it forgets how to function sometimes and then you get dumb? I don't know. Ichiya tried a wry, self-deprecating smile. Why do you have to put it that way? For some reason I felt irritation boil up inside of me. The tone you're taking makes it sound like you want me to choose Kazuya over you. That's not my intention, really. Like I said before, I'm just telling the truth. Yeah, well, you know, your brother doesn't seem to like to tell the truth. He, like, hams himself up. Well, okay. I'm awesome. I mean, you have to believe that for it to be true, but it doesn't necessarily make it true. But if you think you're awesome and you say it, you're technically telling the truth? It's your truth doesn't mean it's everybody else's. I'm just saying, though. It's just a fact that he's far, far better than me at everything, really. Bullshit! You're an amazing cook, and you're really motherfucking dramatic. I bet Kazuya cannot pull out the goddamn dramatics, or the cheese that you can. I'm not saying that those are useful skills, cooking is, but the cheese lines, and like, you know, just being fucking over dramatic, not really useful. Unless you're being like a Shakespearean actor, maybe? Alas, poor York! I knew him well, Horatio! You know what I mean? I guess, you know, we're doing some Macbeth lines. I don't know lines from Macbeth, honestly. But, like, you know what I mean? I guess. Maybe. But, like, most of the time in the real world, it's not gonna help you, but, no. But you're better than him at that, so that's something, right? You can't say that for certain. Oh? Hasn't he already proved it? And I don't mean how smart he is. I mean he's proved it through the relationship he's already built up with you. What? It took me so long just to figure out how to talk to you like a normal human being. That's because you're kind of an idiot. Ichi. That's where you pat him on the head. Ichi is sweet. Your brother's just really smart. Yeah, so he's smarter than you. And that's why it took you so long, because you're kind of stupid. You do that better than him. Well, I mean, you're better at being stupid. It's not a bad thing, necessarily, right now. But after only a few hours, he had you trusting him so much that you look to him for advice. I hate to admit it, but yeah, he's just that good. Well, couldn't deny it. Back then I didn't feel comfortable around Ichiya or the other three. Just getting through each day was a trial that invariably left me with a headache. He was gentle, sweet, and considerate. It was no wonder I opened up to him more quickly than Ichiya. Not that I had any way of knowing who he truly was at the time, but that I depended on him to any degree was apparently causing Ichiya some emotional pain. And Kazuyu's always been that way. Even as kids, he made friends so fast. It never took him long before the entire class trusted him. He has so much more charisma than I do. A more magnetic personality. Well, you know... What time is it? Sorry. Sorry, I have to write this down. I just got really a little lightheaded. I just wanna, I wasn't gonna say. But, like, I've been taking the vitamin D for a week. I guess it's not. 50,000 IUs apparently is not enough for a week if I'm feeling like, woo, okay, just for a hot second there. Okay, anyway, alright, that's swell. You don't have to keep putting yourself down like this. It's the truth, and no point in trying to dress it up. His brother was better than him. He kept insisting as much over and over. Almost as if he was surrendering as a way to excise his own feelings. And he didn't stop there. Anyway, about all this, I know what Taiga and the others said. But personally, I don't think it's out of the question. I blinked, unsure how to react to his sudden statement. What? Did he just say what I thought? Not out of the question. What does he mean by that? Well, I knew. I just didn't want to acknowledge it. Ichiya kept going, his voice thin and listless. And just like everyone says, the Tojo family stands to profit greatly by partnering with the Shinzaki group. And not only that. In terms of out-and-out quality, Kazuya is just way more of a capable groom for you than I am. The emotion that suddenly flared up inside me reminded me of how I felt after another discussion with Ichiya. This is where you slap him again! It was exasperation mixed with annoyance. It resembled how I'd felt when he was desperately trying to avoid me after he'd stolen my first kiss. And it got worse when he refused to apologize to me for what he'd done. So you don't mind, then? Anger burned hot inside me, but my expression was as cold as ice. You're fine with me choosing Kazu. You'd be okay with that. My chilly words made Ichiya deflate even further. He looked away from me entirely as he mumbled, almost inaudibly. Who you pick as your fiancé is your business. Of all the things he could have said in that moment, why? I'd kept the faith. I'd thought that when push came to shove, he would have it in him to say, I won't let anyone else have you. Apparently, I was the only one who had confidence in him. I said nothing. I simply turned and walked out of the kitchen. All right, and this is where you basically tagged your tree, and the boys are going to come in and prep that shit for you. And you're going to walk in and be like, oh my god, look, he's so sparkly. They're going to put the fucking topper on and everything. I didn't even feel like being mad anymore. I couldn't bring myself to care about the emotions he was feeling when he said those words. Was that all it was to him? Were his feelings for me really that... Then my heart felt something slip, like a bridge built between us falling away. I feel things slipping for me too, but it's in my brain. It's all of a sudden like, oh, my consciousness is slipping away. Good God. Tumbling down into the void. Yeah, exactly. That's exactly what it feels. Freaking Cthulhu and the Eldritch gods are trying to like pull me into the void over here. What the fuck? Oof. Okay, so we started this. I'm like, I feel like so much peppier than I have in a while. And all of a sudden I'm like, and that's now gone. What the hell? Oh, I'm like, oh God, the exhaustion is real. Like, oh, okay. I'm sorry. I feel really bad for anyone watching this playthrough. Like, I'll feel bad if this is the first time you've come to this channel and you're like, oh, I'll watch this, and okay, you're not. And then I'm like, oh, like, so there was a loud thunk, and that was me just totally passing out while I was recording, and I left it in, because, like, whatever. Like, I mean, I could have edited it out, I guess. But, like, man, I don't know the effort in it. Like, I'm tired, man. Okay. And then, like, just all the talk of, like, well, obviously my brain's malfunctioning now, because, like, I had to call the doctor earlier and be like, because they had called me last week with, like, test result stuff, and I was like, and no, like, they didn't call me back on, like, Friday when I called. So I called again, and I'm like, I just want to, I mean, I don't know if I saw the tests, like, the labs and everything like that, and plus I got the prescription, so, like, I get a notification that I have a prescription that's being delivered to me on Tuesday, because my pharmacy delivers, which is awesome, because, like, aha, I don't have to go out and do anything. Also, considering the fact that the doctor told me, don't drive, because you never know when you might, like, have one of these issues, and if you actually black out again while you're driving, like, not good, right? As my friend said, do you want to, like, kill someone while you're driving? And I'm like, I'm not really concerned about killing someone. I mean, it sounds horrible, but I'm like, what you really have to do to get me to, like, agree that it's a bad idea is be like, do you really want to damage your car? You're right. I don't care about me. I'm okay, like, look, let's put it this way. Honestly, yes. I'm a moral human being where, like, oh my god, if I killed someone, I would feel awful about it, and I would probably not be able to live with myself. If I killed myself, my ghost would be a little pissed. But, like, oh, I black out and I hit a lamp post and now my car is... That's gonna hurt more. Okay? The first time I did anything bad to my car, I cried for weeks while my car was being repaired. It was like devastation. It was like I murdered my child, okay? Like, look, I love my car more than I love myself. So, you know, sometimes do you want to accidentally kill someone? I mean, I kind of just feel like that's not gonna happen. You know, it's like, did you want to damage your car? That could happen. Yeah, you're right. Like, you know what I mean? You gotta play to, like, people's, like, idiosyncrasies, right? But it's like, I was gonna go back to work this week, too. I was like, I'll be fine! My boss is like, not until the doctor says you can come back. And when I asked today, I'm like, so about, like, the not driving, it was like, the neurologist has to clear you. I'm like, so I still have to go to a neurologist, so that's a little scary. But then again, you know, I was like, well, I mean, but, like, I started taking the vitamin D and I felt fine. Until today. And now twice I've had those moments where I'm like, okay, nope, not fine. Definitely not fine. And either that or 50,000 international units of fucking vitamin D a week is not enough to get my levels up. But I have to be on this for 6 months. It's kind of funny, actually. When I called, and I was like, when do I get my blood tested again? Oh, you know, when your prescription runs out usually. And I'm like, well, okay, she's filled it for 6 months, so I have to be on 6 months. She goes, yeah, because it was that low. And I'm like, there. I mean, I've had low vitamin D before, but I don't think it was ever this low. It was like, you need to go get a supplement and start taking it. So obviously, even though they said deficient, I'm guessing it wasn't in the actual deficient range. If they were just like, get a supplement, you know, just start taking vitamin D pills. And this, they were like, nah, girl, you need a prescription, you're gonna die. Like, and it has been a week since I took the last pill. I mean, okay. So, like, then I'm like, is it just that? Like, the 50,000 international units, like, by the time the week ends, and I gotta take the next one, my body's like, no, fuck, we're going down again! I don't know, so... Anyway, but I feel bad if this is your first instance here and you're like, what the fuck is wrong with you? I mean, first of all, the way I act is absolutely always the problem. But I don't usually black out or, you know, have, like, weird fucking brain issues. Usually. I'm an asshole and I'm obnoxious and we talk like this through everything, yeah, but, like, good lord. Anyway. Oh, there you go. The 5th Suta. Kazuya comes for a visit. The others intend to drive him out, but Kazuya is a slick talker. It's so funny because, like, I really felt on point when we started this, and that was my point. Like, I was on point and like, yeah, I'm so excited, like, peppy. And I still feel like I got the pep, but my brain feels, like, kind of hazy. Like, I feel, and this is, like, the way I, like, it's like after you've had a drink or two, you know what I mean? Like you're there, you're having conversations, everything's great, but you kind of almost feel like instead of being in the driver's seat, you're in the back. And you're like, I'm driving from the back seat. But I kind of feel like I'm a step or two back. It's almost like a brain fog. Like that's exactly kind of how I just got after that moment. Like, I'm here, I'm on point. But it is a very fuzzy on point. I swear I wasn't maybe I need to start. I don't know. Anyway, time passed after that definitive split between Ichi and myself. Oh, we'd barely spoken more than a handful of words to each other by the time the day of the meeting arrived. Oh, we needed drama though. More so than we already had. If Ichi was sure he was going to win, there would be like no point to half these chapters. So, hurry up, guys. He's going to be here any minute. Nayuta, your collar is crooked, and no one will take you seriously if you look like a half-witted peasant. Oops, thanks. He's wearing a hoodie. Like, is there like a straight on a hoodie collar? There, that's better. I really wish they had put him in like a sweater vest and like a button-up shirt and shit. It would have been so funny. Now I just have to hide this Sasumata? Now I just have to hide this Sasumata under the couch, just in case things go bad. Good. Make sure you can pull it out at a moment's notice. Is it a weapon? Sasumata? If I remember my history correctly, that was a fork-like polearm that was used to constrain criminals in feudal Japan. Sorry, this game literally needs like fucking the little a chibi pop up with like Nayuta holding one of these fuckers. Like, it's either like a giant fucking like the pitchfork or like a fucking trident. I don't know, but it's somewhere in that, and that's just like okay, what the hell? It didn't seem like they were plotting bloodshed, but they definitely seemed intent on driving Kazu out. For the sake of my sanity, I have to believe they won't look for an excuse to use that ridiculous thing. I quietly sighed. At the same time, Taiga heaved a sigh of his own that was even more exasperated than mine. He's mad at frickin' Ichiya. Ichiya, bro, your sad eyes remind me of a kitten in the rain. Smarten up. Seriously. Approach this like you're gonna throw hands with the guy as soon as he steps in the door. Got it? Yeah, sure. I love Sadie so much. Oh, God. Ugh. Thanks for the totally gutless answer. Ichiya sat on the couch, pale as plaster. He stared into space, his eyes blank. He'd lost his will to fight before the battle began. Seriously, what is wrong with him? Maybe he's having a blackout moment. Just give him a sec. He'll come back eventually. I knew I'd annoy myself by looking at him, so I deliberately looked somewhere else. Right then, the doorbell rang. I looked at my watch. It had just ticked over to 2 p.m. on the dot. He's been standing at the door. Wait. 2 p.m. Hell, it seems he's here. Let's all try to stay relaxed, all right? Yeah. I took a deep breath. It sounded more like a gulp. After a moment, I started walking to the foyer to greet Kazu. If we don't answer the door and pretend we're not home... All right, Kasuga. Welcome, Mr. Shinzaki. Kasuga, you're not trying to fucking paw me off on this asshole too, are you? Like, disappointment. By the time I arrived at the door, Kasuga had already opened it. Kazu stood just beyond. Huh. I had to pause for a moment. He waved at me cheerily. Okay. I'm gonna guess he's not wearing a stupid hat. Yep, okay. I was like, he can't just show up in the stupid hat and sunglasses. He's not in disguise anymore. Hi there. Thanks for letting me come over. I'm glad to see you're doing well, Spacey. I'm really looking forward to our meeting today. Hello. He was dressed in casual street clothes, just like the Kazu I thought I knew. I thought he'd come wearing a formal suit. I don't come to this area too often. It looks like a pleasant place to live. Oh, right, here. I brought you a hostess gift, but why don't you share it with everyone? He held out a box decorated with tasteful wrapping that clearly wasn't cheap. I recognized the name of the shop on the seal. It was a well-known sweet shop. I'd had their sweets a time or two myself. I remember their flan being particularly delicious. We should remember that and get some for Taiga. As I was thinking that, I suddenly heard, "Oh, yay! Sweets! Thanks a bunch!" Mayuta comes zooming into the foyer with his usual animal energy, nabbing the box even before Kasuga could. "No, stop it! It's chocolate! You can't eat it! It'll kill you!" Oh, wait, never mind. You're not actually a dog. Sorry, you're fine. Ow! He nearly made a sonic boom. It's so funny. Like, they just... Look. Every single fucking time they go here with Nayuta and, like, literally keep shoving the dog analogy at you, it makes my goddamn day. And I just, like, give the fucking person who decided this and who kept pushing it with Nayuta, give them a fucking cookie. Every time. They're gonna be drowning in cookies, okay? Is all I'm saying. Like, whatever. Whatever your treat of choice is, person, you deserve it. Because, like, shit. Every time, it's like, oh, I brought snacks. Oh my god, snacks? Did you say snacks? I like snacks. Can I have snacks? You want to pet me? You want to go for a walk? You want to throw a ball in the backyard? We can go. Come on. Down, boy. You know what I mean? Like, every single fucking time Nayuta is just... Nayuta? I love it. Every time he's got the dog energy, or they make the analogy like, God, animal-like, or dog-like, or whatever, it's like, it never gets old. It never gets old. It's fucking hilarious. It's so good. He'd reacted to the word food, even from as far away as the living room. If he did, he must have great hearing. Not unusual for a golden retriever. Again! Man! That person's gonna get diabetes with how much fucking cookies they're getting. I'm serious. Yo, Nayuta, why are you greeting the guy like a long-lost pal? No! Hey, no fair trying to bribe me, but it didn't work, so ha! I'm too smart to fall for an obvious ploy like that. Bribe? Look at Kazuya's face.
Please pay him no mind, Mr. Shinzaki. Everyone's been awaiting your visit with a little trepidation.
Kasuga, I know it's your job to be nice to him, but could you be a little less nice? A little more douchey? Could you be a little more bitchy? You know the way you treat me sometimes, Kasuga? I'm gonna need you to turn that on for him. I'm just saying. I suppose it's no wonder he's confused. I'm sure he honestly brought those sweets to be polite. Fortunately, it looked like Nayuta's weirdness hadn't creeped him out too badly. Do you, mind if I come in? I do, yes.
Oh, my apologies. Please do. I shall put on a pot of fresh tea. Please feel free to join everyone in the living room.
Alright, sounds good. Spacey, can you show me to the living room, please? I'm surprised you didn't fucking have the map to my house scoped out. Like, frickin'... Of course. Well, I went to town hall and I looked up, like, fucking blueprint plans and I fucking found... I don't... You mean, they always do that in TV shows and shit, right? I watched him out of the corner of my eye as we walked to the living room, myself half a step ahead. Hey, Taiga, he looks kinda different than I expected. I was totally expecting someone who looks mean and cranky. Not that, that's for sure. No wonder the babe opened up to him so easily. It's gonna be harder than I thought. Taiga's over there like, I mean, he is kinda handsome. I guess we should have expected that. He looks like Ichigo. But like, you know, cooler. Neither of them seemed to care we were within earshot. Of course they don't! Kazu's gonna be like, your friends make me uncomfortable. I make everyone uncomfortable, but, you know, it's fair. We took seats in the living room, and then sat looking at each other in awkward, heavy silence. Ugh, this is so weird. It was as if we were in a standoff, waiting for someone else to make the first move. Finally, Kazu broke the ice in a smooth, swift motion. Well then, how about we start with some introductions? This is the first time I've met 3 of you, after all. So, hello, I'm Kazuya Shinzaki, Ichi's twin brother. Hey, Taigi Tsurugi. Nayuta Yagami was the one who dove in on your box of sweets like a starving man. And that's Shion Mayuzumi over there. A pleasure. Nice to meet you, sir! Now, I suppose we needn't really introduce ourselves to you. I'm sure you already know all about the 3 of us. I know some, yeah. But isn't it polite to start with a general introduction? I don't want to be rude to the fellows taking such good care of my brother. Oh, I mean, seriously, look. I know there's going to be some people who are sitting here and be like, oh no, Kazu all the way. But I'm just like, how do you, like, okay, Kazu, yeah, but like, look at me, sad Ichiya. It's just- I feel like what it should be is if, like, Kazu was kind of making the face and Ichiya was kind of making a smirk, like, oh, whatever, you'd be like more a happy face. You'd be like, oh, okay, now you gotta choose. But there's just, I'm sorry. Kazuya, no way you could win against sad Ichiya face. Like, look at sad Ichiya face. The greatest thing here. I have problems. I got a lot of problems. I mean, I'm not doubting that right now. Ichiya sat stiffly in his seat, obviously conflicted. Kazuya relaxed like he was in his own living room. Twins, huh? He had to squint and glance between the two of them, like he'd never seen twins before. You do look an awful lot like Ichiya, yeah. Indeed, especially in the eyes, except for yours look conniving and his look depressed and miserable. Put them in the same outfit with the same hair, it'd be real hard to tell apart, that's for sure. Would you please stop analyzing them? It's rude. Yeah, I don't mind. It's something all identical twins have to put up with, I guess. We're used to being stared at, right, Ichiya? Yeah, pretty much. I always hated it every time someone would mistake me for you. I know. That's why you try so hard to be different from me. Wearing different styles, getting a wavy perm, even deliberately speaking differently than I do. Shut up! Out of everyone, Ichiya's definitely being the most prickly toward him. I mean, yeah, they hate each other. Well, Ichiya hates him. I feel like Kazuya thinks that he's better than Ichiya. You know what I mean? I guess that's kind of obvious by some of the shit he said. So it's like oh, I'm better than you. So like, whatever, you can say whatever you want to me. It's not gonna bother me. And like, just by existing in the same space, Ichiya's annoyed with Kazuya because he feels inferior, right? And it's like, Ichiya, you just need to like be like, now fuck you, I'm better. Taking her home. Actually, he lives with me, so like, we don't have to go that far. You know, I'm just saying. But like, Ichiya's just so used to being like kicked around and like shoved in the corner for his brother that he just doesn't know how to stand up for himself. So. By the way, I know this is awfully late, but do you mind if the three of them join us for this? Not at all. I call this a marriage interview just for convenience. It was a handy term to refer to our little get-together today. But if we actually did turn it into a formal interview, you'd be left in a very uncomfortable corner. Correct? I see. I instantly understood what Kazu meant. The Tojo family and the Shinzaki group were very large, influential businesses. If their heirs held a formal marriage interview, it would garner a lot of attention from a lot of people. And once that happened, there was only one possible outcome for both families: engagement. Anything else would mean trouble for one or both sides. Because if there was no engagement, that would mean that one of the families had been deemed unworthy. The side that had been turned down would lose face, and losing face meant losing business. Well, okay. I like how he said that. I call this a marriage interview, but if it turned into a formal interview, you'd be left in a very uncomfortable corner, right? He's saying that to us. Oh, you'd be uncomfortable. The side that had been turned down would lose face. We'd be the one turning him down, though. So why would I be in an uncomfortable corner? Because I'm so good, I wouldn't want to hurt your family like that. I'd be like, no, I don't want to marry you. Fuck off. Well, maybe you shouldn't have forced me into a formal marriage interview that you didn't know that you absolutely had a chance of winning, and then you wouldn't have lost face. I'm just saying, don't show your fucking face here if you want to keep your fucking face where it belongs. Because I'm going to take your face off. I have no fucking idea what I just said. Anyway, you know what I mean? Like, I like the way he's putting this, like, oh, you'd be in a really uncomfortable spot. Oh, at turning you down and making you look bad? No. No, I'm okay with that. You put me in an uncomfortable position thinking that that would manipulate me into saying yes and like, nah, turning you down. You're not good enough for me. Good luck with that. I'm just saying. You don't come bringing formal marriage interviews unless you're 110% certain I'm going to say yes, because you're the one that's going to go slinking back with your tail between your legs. Okay, that's all I'm saying. So, but I like how he twists it. Like, oh, I'd be in such a fucking pickle. I like pickles. Be perfectly fine in a pickle. And just eat my way out of the pickle. He mentioned that as insurance, in case I planned on forcibly turning down his suit here and now. If I did that, it would cause a considerable profit loss simply for my own personal reasons. My relatives would start questioning my sincerity, too. So today I'm just here to visit my brother, nothing more. You don't have to be that anxious, really. It's funny because, like, the game calls it, oh, it's a marriage interview. But if it was a formal marriage interview, because there's a difference between marriage interview and marriage interview, you know what I mean? Like, just, I feel like that was maybe translated weird? I don't know. Anyway. Thus his casual dress. He came here as Kazu for a specific reason. He'd taken my own circumstances into consideration before coming, as well as his own, at least to a degree. Grandfather's opinion was right. He isn't the sort of person who's driven solely by greed. But I still wasn't in a position to make any decisions. If you didn't come here for a marriage interview, then why on earth did you ask for this meeting? I'd like to say it should be obvious, but maybe it isn't clear for everyone who's present. Today I'd like to tell you the truth about what happened from the horse's mouth, so to speak. I get the impression there are a few misunderstandings. No, you basically, like, from what our grandfather said, hey, I'm Tom, what's up? Tom Tojo, good to know you. Oh, yeah, don't you have, like, a second fucking cousin's grandniece or something, right? So, like, since you owe me, I think you're gonna have to let me marry her. Cool, what's up? That's basically what it fucking sounded like happened, so really no way you can dig your way out of this hole without kind of still looking like a fucking douchebag. Because that's kind of douchey. It's one thing to be like, oh, hey, well, oh, all right, yeah, that would be good for a business, and you're all about the business. I understand that, sure, fine. Don't say I agree with it, but, like, okay, I get it. And you're gonna be like, oh, all right, yeah, I mean, she's cute, I get to know her, okay, cool, what else? Like, gotta do what I gotta do. But, like, you kind of basically, somebody owed you, and you decided that a person was suitable currency. I'm pretty fucking sure most people would be like, you don't use people as currency. That's kind of wrong. Because I'm just saying. I'm just throwing it out there that I feel like there's like a few, just a couple instances maybe where people using other people as currency just kind of didn't work out well. You know, it's kind of like, that was kind of a bad idea. Yeah, we tried it, but bad idea. You're right. So, like, maybe modern day, just not do that kind of shit in the civilized world. I'm just throwing it out there. But you've wanted to hear this for a while now, correct? I really don't care what your reasons. I want you to leave. Yes. And there's one other thing, too. I thought this would be a good opportunity to throw the gauntlet down for your other 3 suitors, too. See, look at the fucking smarmy, douchey look on his face. Look, normally I like the sinister kind of look on a man, but look, when it comes to these twins, I want the sad, dejected one, okay? I like it when he cries. Never said I made sense. Apparently, it's my brain aneurysm, or whatever the fuck is happening in my body is like, oh, we're gonna just switch. Don't get me wrong, there's gonna be a love interest that has sinister eyes. I'm gonna be like, I'm here for this. But, like, not with Kazu. I don't know. Just not here for it with him. Hi. Right in our faces, Now we see the real you. Yep, there it is. Now you're coming across as a jerk. Kazu's declaration, which he made with a gentle smile, ratcheted up the tension in the room. Yeah, that was not a gentle smile. It was a devious fucking face. Look at it. That's like the face fucking the devil makes at you before he, like, makes you sign a contract for your soul. Actually, he still wouldn't give you that look, because you'd be like, whoa, wait, I'm sensing something shady, and you wouldn't sign that shit. Geez, sad face would come up, and I'd be like, I'll sign away. What did I sign? I don't even know, I don't care. Kazuya. Ichiya spoke up, contempt in his voice, but what's the point of putting on appearances? Wouldn't that come across as being fake? Besides, why do I care about being nice to rivals? Kazu was completely unfazed, his expression cool and unconcerned. This is a face that Kazu never would have made. It was such a startling difference from what I was used to seeing that it threw me for a loop, right? And he's coming out and you're like, I don't know. He'd been so kind and gentle with me, but here he was, throwing around barbed statements without a care in the world for who was listening. He doesn't hold back whether he's being kind or cold. That's what makes it so difficult to get a grasp on what he's really like. Just like Kasuga and Grandfather, he'll be a very difficult person to handle, just in a different way. Right, and we already have Kasuga. We don't need a difficult person. Okay? We like Kasuga glaring at us. When Kasuga makes those evil eyes, it's like, just all the fucking lights in the house just magically go on so fucking bright you think they're gonna bust the fuse boxes. I'm just saying. Or when Ichiro cries. All fucking switches. The issue was that I still didn't know enough about him that I could say for certain that he was a good person. I'd need to know the answer to a certain question before I could make that determination. Azu, tell me something. The day you met me in Omotesando, was that all staged? Did you arrange for that man to harass me so that you could swoop into my rescue? I feel like the answer is yes, regardless of what he says. No, I didn't. Jeez, do you seriously regard me as some kind of cheap manga villain? It's a Tome villain, and yes! Anyway, the day we first met really was entirely coincidence. I promise you that, Spacey. I was just stalking you. I don't know if we can trust that promise. We heard about what happened. The kind of old-school street harassment isn't something that happens much anymore. Taiga knows. Haha, true. When I saw it, I was like, really? Too. But I said I didn't set it up, and I mean it. Yes, I did want to find some way to have a personal conversation with the Tojo family heir, but I don't have the kind of free time that'll let me tail her around town and watch every breath she takes. I kind of feel like you do. Huh, why not? Everybody has the same 24 hours in a day. If you really wanted to... Nayuta, I assume that's because he has a job. Oh, right. We're all unemployed. I forgot. Nayuta, do your bro a favor and shut up for a while, would you? Yes, please. I'd gone to do a little shopping that day and just so happened to be walking by when it happened. I don't know if I believe him. So you stepped in because she's the Tojo family heir? Your words are a bit biting, aren't they? But I can't deny it. I'm not a superhero and I don't try to be one. If it had been someone I didn't know, I might have kept walking. Okay, well that's kind of fucking rude. It was actually weirdly refreshing to hear him say that with such brutal honesty. Refreshing? I mean, I get it, like, okay, he didn't set it up, but it's like, but I'm also like, okay, oh, no, but you kind of lose points being like, if it was just some random woman, I would have been like, whatevs. Kind of fucking douchey, you know what I mean? Plus, his blunt replies made it seem more and more unlikely that he was lying. Alright, I'll believe that. I don't. I mean, I'm sure it's probably true, but, like, I don't want to believe it, because I don't like you right now. There's an answer to one question I had. Though looking back, it was an obvious one. He wanted to deliberately approach me without letting me know who he was. There were dozens of easier ways to do it. Wait, why am I feeling relieved? One thing. I had a question about that day, too. Why in the world were you there, of all places, entirely by yourself? Well, I really didn't want to tell him. I couldn't. Not that I'd gotten caught up in the fun of walking by myself and wound up lost. I think I was probably more shocked to see you there than you were. I remember doing a double take thinking you couldn't seriously be who I thought you were. I know it's none of my business, but I really had to wonder who let you do that. Don't you have an escort or bodyguard when you go out? I don't think I'm so important that I really require a bodyguard. Kasuga's over there like, oh, dare you?
I must agree with him on this one matter, at least.
Kasuga returned from the kitchen carrying a tea service.
You are lacking a certain necessary sense of caution, Miss Spacey.
That's why I have you, Kasuga. And that's why I only want you. I mean, I'm enjoying this goddamn himbo house. Don't get me wrong, I really do enjoy it. But, like, the end-all be-all is you, Kasuga. It's just the only thing. That's all I want for Christmas is fucking Kasuga.
I highly suggest that you keep your station in mind when you act. Yeah, Kasuga's right. You really should take someone along when you go anywhere. Someone strong like me.
I mean, it would be good to take a dog for a walk every once in a while. Sorry. There was no winning this particular argument anymore. Not against 3 of them. I can only apologize. Anyway, back on topic. Does that clear things up a little? I hope so. I feel like also, I mean, again, I get it. I mean, he's not wrong. Like, shouldn't you be careful where you're going places than Kasuga being like, yeah, and then, well, now you too, just whatever. He's more like, take me for walks! You know, so whatever. He doesn't really count. But, and he's over there struggling. He's like, I can do 1, 2. He's trying really hard to count in the corner, you know it. But anyway. But it's just something about the way he says it, though. Like, if anyone, like, Kasuga, hello? The fuck are you leaving without an escort? I expect that kind of, like, bitchy attitude from Kasuga, and I expect, like, the whatever. But, like, for Kazuya to say that and be like, oh, hey, why were you there? Don't you have, like, a bodyguard? And I just feel like you're gonna be a little controlling and kind of, like, you know what I mean? Like, if Ichiya or Shion or Nayuta or Taiga were like, I think you should have someone, maybe you should probably take someone with you. I mean, you know, you gotta think of your station and you gotta protect yourself. You'd be like, good point. You're a good person. And then Kazuya's over here like, don't you have, like, a bodyguard or something to go with you? Yeah. Well, I'm gonna make sure someone's always with you when we get married because, like, you're property and I don't want someone touching you. You know what I mean? I just feel like he says it in such just... I just don't like the way it comes up with him. You're like, yeah, it's kind of creepy. It's the same thing. You're saying the same thing, but when you say it, it's like, no. Gross, you're controlling and overbearing, and everybody else is like, that's kind. Considerate. Maybe because I'm just not feeling Kazuya. And now, on to throwing down the gauntlet. The chill in Kazu's voice made me straighten in my seat almost reflexively. You're not going to win just because you're a fucking bastard. He noticed, too, and seemed amused. After a moment, he turned to look over at Taiga, Shion, and Nayuta. I'm sure you know this already, but I've heard all about the 3 of you from Spacey. In fact, I know what she thinks about each of you. You don't know that much. With that information in hand, I made a decision. That'd be no trouble for you to sweep in and whisk her away from us. That'd be no trouble for you to swoop in and whisk her away from us. I swear I can't read. I was going to say I can, but you know I can't. That's one way of putting it, I guess. I get the impression you don't like me very much. There's really not much to like, though. You had a stupid hat when we met. But, oh well. Yeah, that's basically it. To be brutally honest, even though I'm coming in so late in the game, I'm fully confident that Spacey's engagement is mine to take or leave however I want. Yeah, you know what I do love about him, though? This cocky douche weaselness. He's coming in like, I'm gonna win her, and you're like, no, you're not. Yeah. Knocking you down all the motherfucking pegs is gonna feel good. Especially because you're thinking Shion, Nayuta, and Taiga are your competition, and the one that's actually gonna win this shit is your fucking brother that you were basically like, that horse can't even get out of his motherfucking gate. There's no way he's gonna win the race. But he might be running backwards, but he fucking managed it somehow. Okay, all I'm saying. Especially if Ichi is the dog at the head of the pack. Kazu's barb needled directly into Ichiya, but Ichiya didn't bother to respond. Thinking on it, he'd only barely taken part in this entire conversation, despite his own twin being the center of everything. In fact, he'd barely even focused his eyes to look at anything except the walls or his shoes. Again, why is he wearing shoes in the house? Instead, it was Taiga who bared his teeth at Kazu's challenge. Well, yeah, because they're going to stand up for their friend. You know your brother and his tactics inside and out, so you think beating him will be cake, huh? And that's part of it, yeah. But we're family, after all. But that's not the only reason. We're twins, right? That makes it pretty easy to compare us and determine who's more fit to be the husband of the Tojo family heir. And he's saying this shit and, like, literally, like, Ichiya's already whittled down so fucking much he's basically a toothpick. And, like, Kazuya's like, nope, just take more off. Just take more off. It's gonna be dust in a second. Okay, that was going a step too far. He'd effectively dismissed his own brother out of hand with that statement. He simply couldn't let it slide. Excuse me? I opened my mouth to argue, but I didn't have a chance to say more than 2 words before I was cut off. And that's enough. Shion's voice was sharper and colder than I'd ever heard it before. I don't dislike people who speak frankly, but I think you've said quite enough. I'm not so callous that I'll sit idly by as an acquaintance of mine is insulted like that. Shion's got a point.
The man's your brother. How can you say that about him? What do you think? Because you're a bit older, you get it to lord it over him or something? Yeah, he's right. Ichia might not look like much, but he's actually a really awesome person. He might not look like much. It's like, you're like, he's a really awesome person. Yeah, that makes me feel good, but he may not look like much, coming from the literal family dog. Like when you're a frenemy, what's like a complisult? Like a fucking insultament? Like, how do you say an insult and a compliment? But it's like, it's barely a compliment. He's awesome. But I don't look like much. And again, coming from Nayuta. Ouch. Fucking ouch. Oh, how so? Huh? If he's really as awesome as you say, what makes him so great? Tell me. Okay, let's see. You're asking the wrong person, but also it's like, you don't have to, there doesn't have to be an actual physical thing for you to say. Like, oh, well, he does A, B, and C. Like, you can sit there and say, oh, you're running a corporation. You give to charity. You can do all that. And that's just shit and words on paper. That means jack fucking shit. Sure, it looks nice on paper. It looks great on your resume. But it means jack shit if you're a horrible human being underneath it all. And, like, that's the difference. You're all shiny, fancy words on paper, Kazu. And Ichia might literally have a blank sheet of paper. Like, I got nothing. I can cook. Okay? And he's really good with cheesy lines, and he's super dramatic. And those things, if you put them together, are like, that's kind of pathetic. But you know what? We still love Ichia because he's a good friend to us. And we just, in our soul, deep down in our heart and our soul, we're just connected, man. We have a bond in this fucking house. And you're not going to come in and break that shit. Get out! The fuck out of my house! Kasuga, throw him out! Kasuga, I'm going to need you to take the trash out! I love Kazuya because he makes me so mad. Just his existence and his, like, he's good. He's a great character. Because he's, like, just there and you're like, I mean, you're handsome. Stupid fucking hat. But, like, you every once in a while slip into, like, evil villain fucking face and you're like, oh, hell no. No. Look, we have had trash love interests and I'm here for that. And we've had trash side pieces. But you are not one of those. You are like that character is just like, nah, I don't like you. I like you because I don't like you. I appreciate the writers making you, like, kind of detestable. Like, bravo! Like, yeah, you're a character I love to dislike. I don't hate him. I just strongly dislike him. I know there's so many people like, oh my god, Kazu's my favorite, why can't we date him? Oh, hell no. I light that trash pile on fire, okay? Like, nah, He's not trash enough to be, like, trash. And you know what I mean? Like, trash bandos are, like, so good because you're the worst! You're literally the worst! And Kazu, you're like, you're the worst out of everyone in this house, but you're nowhere near as bad as some trash bandos we've had, right? Like, you just, listen, I don't know, you're just in that, like, territory, okay? Anyway. He's a really good cook. Everything he makes is super duper delicious. No, I wouldn't mind if he made more of it sometimes. That's it, Nayuta. You tell him. Okay. He's nice. Like, really nice. He even gave me some of the leftover cookies he baked. And, he's quite adept at speaking Japanese. Sometimes he'll use words I've never even heard to flirt with Spacey. No. He's normal for a Japanese guy, and the weird words are because he's not right in the head. Doesn't anyone have any better things that they can say? Come on. The weird words are because he's not right in the head. Shion's like half French or some shit, isn't he? He's Frenchanese. So he's like... He says some strange things in Japanese even I don't know him. He's like, nah, it's because he's fucked in the head. What the hell? Like... I like how Taiga's like, come on! Friggin' Ichi's awesome! I mean, he's fucked in the head, but like, still. We love him anyway. She's not wrong. If this conversation accomplished one thing, it was utterly killing my will to push back against Kazu. His demeanor has as quickly devolved into the usual meandering nonsense these four always break down into. Are they even saying anything to answer Kazu's questions satisfactorily? The thing is it's not about the words you put on paper. Like, as our grandfather said, oh yeah, Kazu's great on paper. That's it. Kazu's great on paper. Doesn't mean you have oh my god, this person, every single thing that they wrote on this paper, all the likes and dislikes were perfect. 100% match. And then you just meet them and the chemistry is just not there in person. You know what I mean? Like, your friend chemistry, it's the same thing. Like, wow, this person and I should get along and be besties. But like, for some reason, in person when you talk, you're like, yeah, I'm not feeling it. There is like a chemical thing, like with people, friends, romantic partners. It's just that bond that you can't really describe. You can't be like, oh, it's because we like all the same things. Because I could have two people right here that like the exact same thing as me, and on paper, but like we're great, 100% match as friends, whatever. But one of them I'm gonna have more of a bond with than the other. You know what I mean? It's not gonna be like, oh, it's a hard decision. Gonna be like, no, I mean, it's this person. I don't know, we just don't click. You know what I mean? And that's the thing Kazu doesn't fucking get. We're clearly not getting that either, but like, you know. Hey, if you're just gonna keep shooting down all my compliments, you better come up with one. How come you keep asking me? Oh, Ichiya, you got anything? Would you not dump this on me, please? Jeez, you guys are cruel. We've lived together for ages. Surely you can think of something by now. Sorry, bro, but I like to stay honest with myself. Sometimes even a little white lie can be harmful. Right, and the last thing we want is for you to lock yourself up in your room and refuse to cook dinner for us again. Well, this brutal honesty is doing a damn good job at hurting me anyway. I feel like I could cry. Yeah? Everyone's he's like, I feel like I could cry. And you're like, are you gonna? And they perk up. You're over there like, oh, God. Cry. Hey, yeah? Yeah? Really? You good? What? I'm sorry. I heard Ichi's gonna cry. Why would you want me to cry? Because you're goddamn beautiful when you cry. I love it. Kazu, I'm gonna need you to cry for me. Show me some emotion. Aside from evil. You don't have it. Yeah, see, that's why Ichi is better. Because when he cries, fucking sexy. And Nayuta, seriously, am I nothing more than a fancy vending machine to you? Oh, great. This has definitely devolved into the usual chaos now. Even fucking Kasuga. How on earth was I supposed to wrangle this mess back under control? My head started to pound when... Ah! All of a sudden, someone broke out in laughter. It took me a moment to realize it was Kazu. Sorry, I just can't. I tried to hold it in, but Ichi's shout there at the end just killed me. Hey. Kazu? Sorry, it was just so funny. Apparently Kazu was having trouble getting all the giggles out of his system. He took a few deep breaths to compose himself before turning to Ichiya with a smile. This is such a surprise. You've always had problems with making male friends, Ichiya, but now look how close all of you are. Ichiya's crying. Ichiya looked away, seemingly conflicted. Yeah, but God, he's so goddamn beautiful when he's sad. Jesus, there's something wrong with me. I mean, there's a lot of things wrong with me, but this is a new one. Kazu didn't appear concerned. He turned his smile over to Taiga and the others. I can hardly believe you're rivals. If you're such good friends with Ichiya regardless, I'm sure you're all decent people. I think I'm feeling a little left out now. Maybe I ought to move in here too. God, no. What? That's not even funny, Kazuya. I know, I just threw it out there for curiosity's sake. I have my job to focus on after all. Living here while managing everything would unfortunately be difficult. You seem awfully confident in yourself. I think us living here together with her puts us at an obvious advantage. Yeah, working hard at your job is all well and good, but are you sure you'll have time to treat her well? Or do you think that unemployed schlubs like us are just pushovers, and you can outdo us romantically in your spare time alone? Hey, don't underestimate us just because we're unemployed. I am also very stupid. Wait, that's not... Wait, was that right? Oh, I'd never do that. Whatever the world may say about you, you still manage to earn the approval of the Tojo family head. If I take you lightly, I'd be soundly defeated. I'd like to think I'm not stupid enough to underestimate my competition. You do get it. Well, what's your plan then, eh?
Plan? Simple enough. Do the same as all of you, fair and square. Fair and square? What else can I do? This is a decision that'll have bigger impact than almost anything on our lives. It deserves careful consideration. Yeah, see, the thing is like, the words coming out of your mouth make motherfucking sense. But I feel like there's like some kind of manipulation and like bullshit under them, you know? It wasn't my intent to use such forceful methods in order to make your acquaintance, but unfortunately that's how it went down. I don't mean to let that happen again. In other words, I'm going to invite you on dates just like anyone else, and I'm going to make you fall in love with me. You've got nothing against that, right? I got everything against that. He was right. I couldn't say anything against that. It would have been easier if he did try something underhanded. I would have had reason to turn him down. Still, he must have quite a bit of confidence in himself to say all that with a straight face. While I was thinking on his words, Kazu continued to grab control over the conversation and steer it in the direction he wanted. Right. Manipulation. But as you astutely pointed out, the current situation puts me at a notable disadvantage. I've unfortunately left a bad impression on Spacey, and I haven't had the opportunity to spend as much time with her as the rest of you. So I'd like to propose a condition to level the playing field, so to speak. Yeah, I don't like this. It's you manipulating to get yourself shit. And that condition is? It's simple, really. Whenever I ask Spacey off on a date, I'd like the rest of you to do nothing to interfere with it. I only have so much time I can dedicate to this. Without a major handicap, I'm not sure we can call this arrangement fair, can you? I don't think this arrangement is fair at all, because you're not supposed to be here, and you just fucking wormed your way in, you bastard. Taiga, Shion, and Ayuta looked at each other. If we're being offered this much of a concession, it'd reflect poorly on us if we chased him out. Point. Think I can let you get away with that much. This is all kind of complicated, and I don't really get it, but if you guys are okay with it... And you, Ichiya? Do you agree? What's it matter? You already decided how it's gonna happen. Exactly. You've already decided, so that's the way it's gonna be. And he's not giving us a choice. He's not saying, oh, I think this would be the best. He's like, this is basically the best thing for all of us, and blah, blah, blah. And it's like, you have no choice but to agree with him. He's manipulated you into agreeing. So, like, Ichi's over there like, what does it fucking matter if I agree? This is the way it's going down, so... I could practically see the white flag fluttering over Ichi's head. He'd given up entirely. And then I'd say we have a deal. So, looks like that's how it'll go, Spacey. I hate to be pushy, but do you mind if we go ahead and schedule our first date? What? Already? My eyes darted around the room, but none of my suitors spoke up. Their deal with Kazu already hamstrung their retorts. And Ichiya, he didn't even attempt to look my direction. Oh well, I was hoping for an opportunity to have a proper discussion with Kazu in private. Alright. Great, thanks. As soon as a slot in my schedule is cleared, I'll get in touch with your butler. I shall await your call, sir. Excellent. Well, that's all I needed to accomplish here, so I think I'll call it a day. Oh, and you don't need to see me out. That's okay. Kazu stood and gave a quick wave and then turned to walk out of the room. But then he paused and turned around. Oh, before I go, let me say thank you to y'all for accepting the condition I made. Well, wait, let me phrase that in a different way. I'm not going to let any of you show me up. Let's throw ourselves into this and make it a battle worth fighting. With a brilliant grin, Kazu turned around and left for good. Ugh. He's so just fucking, like, smarmy. Like, I like him as a character, again, because, like, they make you dislike him, and you're like, it's brilliant writing. But, like, just in general, overall, I'm not like, oh my god, yeah, I love it. No, I kind of hate him. I want to light him on fire. Like, he's just kind of a twat. And he's so fucking full of himself. He's like, oh yeah, so we're going to go on a date and totally going to win. And I know the best part is like, no, you're not, though. But, like, it's still like, I don't know, man. They really made the side characters who were, like, antagonists in the routes really unlikable. Likeable in the sense of, like, wow, bravo, you made these people suck. Like, Rue, irritating as shit. Mayuta's fucking uncle, Jesus Christ, what a douche. Like, you showed up and you were like, I want to, like, 100% hate you, but I can only, like, 90% hate you, because 10% I'm like, I appreciate the writing for you. Same with Kazu. You're like, damn, you suck. Like, you fucking suck. Why do people want to date you? You suck. I don't like you. Get out. My house. Anyway. It was, in all, quite an imposing exit.
I admit I grudgingly respected him for it. But... Whoa. Hold on a damn minute. He just appointed himself the 5th suitor, didn't he?
Yeah, yes.
Not only that, he made it seem like we gave him a stamp of approval, too. Holy crap, you're right. Wait, didn't we agree we were gonna yell no and kick him right out?
See? He's good at manipulating people.
That's like so... It's an awesome power to have yourself, but it's just the worst power for someone else to have.
I'm afraid hindsight is 20/20. He's a much more cunning negotiator than we expected. Honestly, I think that may be the first time in my life that someone dared to make me dance to their tune.
How's to control that discussion from beginning to end? He even took advantage of the confused bickering between the 4 of them to steer the topic right to where he wanted it. It's impressive. There's no other way to describe it. I mean, yeah, I'll give you that. I underestimated him. Samugi and Arimura even warned me, but I didn't see anything wrong with just talking to him. Now here we are. Now he had 5 suitors instead of 4. I handed Kazu precisely the opportunity he needed, and he used it to slide into the contest with ease. Oh, poor baby Eeyore is gonna end here. We'll start the next part here. Anyway, I will see you guys next time. Remember to give the video a big thumbs up and subscribe to see more.